Good morning, it's Ebird Online, and I'm here with another review from 90 Day Fiance. And today we're going to be talking about Tania and Syngin and Angela and Micheal. So yes guys, Angela and Micheal are back. Apparently the powers that be at TLC decided that this season's cast was so lackluster they needed Angela and Micheal to boost ratings. And I don't know who the powers that be are at TLC, but it must be the cleaning lady and the mailroom boy, because I've yet to find a person that wants to see more of Angela Dean. And later on we'll talk about Tania and Syngin, and we see Tania leaving for Costa Rica to learn how to be a witch. I'll leave that one with you. If you're new to this channel, welcome. Come on and join our flock. Press the red button and subscribe to my channel for consistent content. And thank you to those that have already subscribed. I really do appreciate your support. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Ebird99. Right, so first up today I'm going to talk about Angela and Micheal. Unfortunately, it's not going to be too long because TLC are treating Angela and Micheal as if we'd never seen them before. I'm Angela, I'm from Hazelhurst, Georgia, and I'm 53 years young. And guys, I have no reason why she decided to give such a demonic laugh, and I don't know why, but I think it's kind of pointless having these guys on because I've got a feeling that Micheal will never ever step foot on US soil. I said it last season, something just tells me he's not here yet. Why not? We're halfway through the season. I just don't believe he made it. But anyway, we catch up with Angela and she's going to get Botox, and she says she wants to do it because she wants to impress Micheal, and she's with her friend Dodie. Dodie tells us that Angela's going to get a beautiful result. A beautiful result, really? How is that possible? Is it bloody magic? And then she said she wants it to look as natural as possible, and Angela chimes in with, I want to look younger. In fact, I want to look a lot younger. Well, Angela, if Snap-on have made a tool to administer your Botox, there might just be some hope. Failing that, I don't fancy your chances. And then she goes on to tell us all about Micheal. When they met, how they met. She misses out the fact that he cheated on her, and she also misses out the fact that she accused him of defrauding her bank account. What she does tell us, however, is that she and Micheal are in love, and Michael's not just out for a visa, and it gets on her nerves when people suggest he is. And she said, he's not scamming me. Angela, we know you're scamming him. If you do ever get Micheal to America, you'll treat him like a sir. And then she explains that Micheal will be living with her daughter Skylar, and her mum, and her 6 grandkids. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I think maybe Michael's better off in Nigeria. Really? And the next time we catch up with Angela, she's in the local store, and she's talking to Micheal on the phone very loudly about his visa interview, and she's telling him, I'm sweating to death worrying about this visa now. And Micheal said, we'll be fine, don't worry. But Angela wasn't having any of it. Be careful now, don't mess it up. If you mess this up, Micheal, it's over, it's finished. And he said, don't worry Angela, I'll be fine. And she said, will you? Well, what makes you so positive? And he said, you should be boosting me up at the moment. You should have faith in me. And she said, if you don't take it seriously, you're going to be denied. And she said, you're not nervous about the questions? And he said, I am nervous, but I just have to be strong, you know. Micheal refused to be negative doubt, and he said, Angela, I got this. And she said, well, if you haven't, we're finished because I'm not moving to Nigeria. It's either K1 or K done. And Micheal said, can't we do 90 days the other way? And she said, no, if you mess this up, it's over. And so Angela acts as if this whole visa thing is Michael's to lose. She doesn't really realise that most people from Nigeria would love to go to America, and if I look at Angela and Michael's relationship and put myself in the place of immigration officials, I wouldn't let him in. She's looking after her mum, Skylar, and 6 grandchildren on one salary. When Micheal gets there, it's just more to pay for. So I'd just imagine that should be quite a bad risk. And then we go over to Nigeria to catch up with Micheal, and he's on his way to his uncle's house to play with the kids, his nephews and nieces. And his aunt is there, and he sits around and he's chatting to the kids and saying he's going to America, and all the kids say, yeah, I'd absolutely love to go to America. It sounds great. When I'm older, that's where I want to go. And his auntie tells him she prays that he gets his visa soon. And then Micheal admits, and he says, I'm very nervous. It's not going to be easy. I'm moving to Georgia in a small town, and I can't go to work, so it's going to be very difficult for me. And then we see Micheal go to meet some of his friends. And he has a friend, Dana, who allegedly he met 5 weeks ago, more than likely when TLC producers introduced him to them. And Dana's Nigerian, and he told Micheal he lived in America for 5 years. And Micheal sat down to have a drink with them, and there was Dana, I think his girlfriend, and 2 other girls, a black girl and a white girl. And basically they were all advising him on what America was like. And basically, I didn't really like this group of naysayers. I felt they were unnecessarily negative. And the white girl asked Micheal, where are you going? Where exactly are you going? And he told her Georgia, and she said, well, there's a lot of segregation in America and a lot of racism. My love, there's a lot of racism everywhere. If Micheal decided not to move anywhere that there wasn't any racism, he probably wouldn't be able to even live on planet Earth. And she said, because it's a small town, it will be even harder for him and even more racist. And she kind of got on my nerves because I wanted to say to her, so what's your point? I should just stay where I am in case somebody else doesn't like my skin colour. Is that what you're saying? I just want to check that. And then they got even more personal. They asked him about children and he said that Angela was 53 and that he wanted children. And they said, how are you going to do that? And he said, IVF. And they were like, oh my God, do you know how expensive that is? My love, do you know how much money I have? No, you don't. So back up. And then Micheal said he was going to convince one of her daughters to give him an egg. And these naysaying girls started really getting on my last nerve at this point. They started saying to him, you're crazy. You don't know what you're getting into. We're just trying to give you the reality of the situation. I've been many times to Nigeria and I've lived for a summer in America as well. And although no, I have never been to Georgia, I know that in Nigeria when you're poor, you're really poor and it's really a difficult situation to get out of anything or to try and help yourself. There's poverty all around. So these girls are sitting there and I can tell they're Americans and she's saying, oh, it's really hard in America. It's really terrible. You would never know because you're not poor in Nigeria. So your Nigeria is lovely. When I was watching Before the 90 Days, I saw Micheal go and have a wash and his shower is kind of a tap outside in the street that he just sort of crouches under. Lots of people in Nigeria live hand to mouth. Simple things are super expensive like the internet or going to the doctors. It's a very, very difficult life in Nigeria unless you're rich. When I went to Nigeria, it was absolutely great because obviously I went over with my British pound and everything was fine. But I could see for the people over there, life was not so rosy. And I think it goes without saying that Micheal's opportunities will be far greater in America than they would be in Nigeria. And then Bibi from California said that reality is going to hit him. She said he's in for a rude awakening. Reality is going to hit him quick and fast and hard. Bibi, not as quick and fast and hard as I want to hit you. Stop stomping all over Micheal's dreams. Thank you. So that's everything for Angela and Micheal this week. Guys, let me know what you think in comments below. Do you think there's any hope in hell that Micheal's going to get to America? I really don't think so, but let me know what you think. And next up, Tania and Syngin. And this week, guys, Tania showed us who she really was. The lazy go-getter Tania fails to change her clothes for the 6th week running. And we meet up with this couple and they're in the kitchen and they're getting ready to have dinner with Tania's mum. Tania, as we know from last week, is going for 30 days to Costa Rica to train how to deliver herbal medicine. And so they're having a little chat in the kitchen and Syngin's saying how difficult he's finding the whole situation and how he's quite worried about when Tania goes away. And Syngin said, oh my God, this love takes a shitload of work, which is not really a great statement to be making when you're thinking about uprooting your life and moving to the other side of the world for somebody. I'm not saying it should be easy, but a shitload of work? Nah. And so they sit down to eat dinner with Tania's mum. And Tania's mum says, how do you like living in the shed, Syngin? How the bloody hell do you think? And Syngin looked at her and said, well, it's kind of quite small and obviously Tania's got a lot of stuff, so everything's everywhere. I'm quite cramped in terms of space. And Tania's mum said, well, that used to be my she shed and I had to move everything out so that you guys could move in. I had to move my tanning bed out. And Syngin said, thank you so much for moving out of the shed so that I could move in. I really appreciate it. And she said, no problem. And then we cut to Syngin saying that he's very worried for when Tania goes. They live in the middle of a forest. He's living obviously on his own in the shed. He said, where do I go? Who do I talk to? What do I do? It's absolutely gonna suck. And Tania said to her mum, do you think it's weird that I'm gonna leave within the 90 days for like 30 days? And her mum thought about it for a minute and she said, well, it's kind of weird that he's coming and you're leaving, I suppose, but I guess there was no other time whatsoever for you to do this call, so I guess you pretty much had to do it now. And I'm beginning to see where Tania gets her unreasonable point of view from, because she did not have to do it now at all. Tania has herself elected to do voluntary work instead, to save up money for Syngin coming instead, to do all sorts of things in different years, and then she chooses this year, the year that Syngin's coming, to actually go and do the course. And I'm beginning to think that her sister, the truth, was right. She's trying to rush everything in before she's 30, because there can be no other reason why this year is the only year that you want to do that course. And then Tania tried to put a gloss on it, and she said, I'm excited for you two to bond whilst I'm away. Tania, Syngin isn't. And then Syngin asked Tania's mum really politely if he can borrow her car, and he would have borrowed Tania's car, but she returned it to the rental company. And Tania's mum thought about it for a minute and she said, well, as long as you're responsible. Remember, it's a privilege. You don't have a job, and Syngin, whilst you're here, you're staying in the house, and I want to make sure that you earn your keep. You don't have a job, so you walk around the yard and you say, hey mum, what do you want to do today? I don't want you to have any problem with anything. I don't want you to come at me with any attitude. You're not a teenager. We're going to be be doing weed whacking, power washing, cleaning the patio. Tanya's mum, I have looked in your backyard. None of this has ever been done, at least not for the last 10 years. The last time I looked, it resembled the municipal dump. And how dare you get Syngin over and demand he has to work for you? And as far as I'm concerned, you're exploiting him. And then Tanya's mum got up to go. She thanked her daughter so much for supper. And then Syngin said, "Oh, Tanya, I'm so stressed out with having all of this alone time with your mum. It's going to be so strange." And Tanya said, "Well, you need to follow her rules. She's very particular like me." Tanya's mum's particular, is she? Well, she's not particular about her clothes, or her hair, or her manners, or her daughter. And Syngin rolled his eyes. And Tanya said, "Oh, that was a very heavy eye roll. Really, was it, Tanya? Was it?" And it's just as well you haven't seen the Ebird's eye roll, because there's not enough bloody sky for the eye roll that I want to do. And the next time we see them, they're in the shed. They're 1 month in, and there's still stuff to be done on the shed. It still isn't done. Oh God, go get to Tanya. Still hasn't done it. And Tanya's talking about her herbal apprenticeship program that she's been wanting to do for years and years. And it's very strange to me that Tanya can afford to go to Costa Rica, but she can't afford to live in anywhere other than a shed. And Tanya's still busy trying to justify her disgusting decision. It's a great opportunity, although I am way sadder than I thought I would have been. And she said, "I'm not postponing it. It's an investment in mine and Syngin's future." And whilst I can't necessarily agree that it's an investment in Tanya's future, it's certainly an investment in Syngin's future, because it's going to enable him to finish with Tanya and thereby leaving him free to date someone who's decent and potentially having a happy life. This course is going to enable Syngin to snatch happiness from the jaws of despair. And Syngin tells her, "I am not looking forward to sleeping in this shed all on my own." And Tanya said, "Never mind, I'm going to head off now and I'm going to have a great time." And honestly, I think it would completely serve her right if when she got back, Syngin was gone. I never condone cheating, but on this occasion, I'd be more than happy for it to happen. I think that Tanya's a massive liberty, and she's one of the most selfish and deluded creatures I've ever come across. And they get in the car and decide to drive to the airport, and Tanya is still wearing the same pink t-shirt. Syngin tells her he's got a big knot in his stomach right now, but Tanya's still grinning moronically. And she said, "I know it's hard for him to be here with no one, but this is just the way it's gotta be." And Syngin said, "Well, can we talk regularly? I at least want to talk to you once a day." And Tanya looked shocked. She said, "I'll be studying 5 days a week, maybe even 6. What? You don't know? You've been wanting to do this course for years and years, but you don't know what the program is." Tanya, I smell bullcrap. And then she goes on to say, "And at the weekends, I want to explore. I'm in this amazing country that I've never been to before. I don't need as much contact as Syngin does." No, of course you don't, because you're busy doing something. You're allowed to work. You're going to be speaking to your tutors and the other people on the course. Syngin is on his own in a shed in your filthy tip of a backyard with only your mother for company. And then she goes on to say, "Syngin is the clingiest man I've ever been with." Maybe that, Tanya, is because even though you knew you were bringing him from South Africa to come and live with you in the middle of the forest in the middle of nowhere, and he knows only you and I suppose frick and frat, you didn't even see fit to introduce him to anybody else or try to get him any other friends before disappearing off to Costa Rica. And she informs Syngin that she's too busy to talk and that he wants too many calls. And she tells him it's only 30 days. It's not that big a deal. And honestly, guys, I really can't with Tanya. I think she's so out of order I can't even begin to put it into words. Tanya is lazy. She is not a go-getter. Tanya is a girl who doesn't even possess a laundry basket. Why should she? She just keeps on wearing the same clothes ad infinitum. Why the pretense? Why say you're particular and then you live like a pig? Why say you're a go-getter and you hadn't even bothered to fix up the shed before Syngin got there? Why say I'm the bomb and then wear clothes from the 1990s? And Tanya, I'd call you an idiot, but that would be a disservice to all idiots. And Tanya, I wish you nothing but the best. Oh no, I said that wrong. Nothing, but the best thing is Syngin might have an opportunity to find somebody else while your ass is away. And incidentally, Tanya, why do you think that doctors have to train for 7 years to get a medical degree, but you're going to be able to dig up a few roots in Costa Rica and people are going to actually let you treat their ailment? Why do you think that that's going to be an amazing business plan? You're the most unrealistic, delusional, preposterous and nonsensical person on the whole of this franchise. As far as I'm concerned, you've shown Syngin 30 days of a shit time so far, and I hope with all my heart that he's gone by the time you get back. And that's everything from cheery Ebird today. And she really is delusional. She thinks she's an amazing catch for Syngin, such an amazing catch that Syngin's just going to wait around indefinitely for her. Do you think Tania suffers from reduced vision? I think that she does. So guys, tell me what you think. Do you think it's in any way fair to Syngin to bring him over at this point? Let's not forget, she could have invited Syngin over at any point. She didn't have to do it in the 90 days in which she did do it. Something tells me there's more to this Costa Rica story than meets the eye. I'm going to do some digging, but let me know your thoughts. So there's just time for me to remind you to subscribe to my channel to make sure you don't miss any of the videos that I've got coming up for you this week. And I've got another special coming out this week as well, and it's on Sasha and his red flag, so make sure you click the notification bell. Also follow me on Twitter at Ebird99, and I'll be back soon. Thanks so much for listening. It's Ebird Online. Ciao for now.